I have two A plus setup, traded live. Market keeps making all-time high every single day. So in this video, using my own live trades, I want to show you exactly how I traded two A plus setups, from identification of the setup, execution, risk management, and of course, ignore the P&L that I have. Just make sure to learn how actually I execute the trade, and most importantly, identify these setups. Shout out to Kumar Trades. Thank you so much for your positive feedback on these high quality recaps that I started. Thank you so much, guys, for all the attention and positive feedback on my recaps and this new format. Thank you.
So this is the trade that we did on Tesla on July 18. So it was really nice because it did represent a very nice 1 minute opening range breakout and also a 5 minute opening range breakout, and for a very nice profit that I really like to discuss here. Okay, so let's see what we saw here. So Tesla on a daily chart, it was consolidating around this range, and the 325 has been marked before as an area that potential congestion in the daily chart. I had it somewhere around here, and also a round number, so 325. So at the open, what we saw here was that the market, obviously in the pre-market, was very strong, opened very good volume, a very nice 1 minute opening range breakout. When I went long, I added multiple times on that, and the stop loss was here. It's just the break of the VWAP here. As it popped up, we started partialing toward these two levels that we had. These are the previous day and 2 days ago highs. So obviously these are very important resistances. If we can break, we can potentially go through 325. It did pull back. I added more on this area, and then we did pull back up all the way up to 325. I added more all the way up to 326, and it came down, and then I got stopped out on that. It did consolidate around the VWAP, and then suddenly with some good volume, there's a really big candlestick started squeezing up, and now this is another chance that we see if you can actually potentially go for another break of high of the day. So I did started adding in there, like I was making really good money on that. I really didn't need to push for another trade, so I started going slowly in there and build a position, added more on this pullback. And as it came back up for the break of high of the day, I partialed, and then I realized that actually, I shouldn't partial. I should add more because this is going to continue going higher. And as you see here, it did, popped up significantly higher, and we did have a very nice breakout all the way up to 330, even 330.50, all the way in there. And then it did pull back. I did add on the pullback here, and then eventually I got to stop out and add the pullback. So this turned out to be a very nice, beautiful breakout. If I want to look at the 5 minute time frame, so this would have been a very nice, probably 5 minute opening range breakout that I see here. So with a very nice consolidation around. So this is a really nice consolidation that we had for like an ABCD pattern, and of course this would be a 5 minute breakout that happens on the time frame. So potentially this can be even a 15 minute opening range breakout. So let me zoom in on the 15 minutes. Yeah, so that could have been a very actually nice 15 minute opening range breakout. One person that asked a question that it was very important was that, Andrew, how do you know this is a pullback and it's not a reversal? So the answer to that, or this one, for example, it's a pullback or it's not a reversal. The answer, this is a really good question. The answer to that is the pullback is usually holding certain level of technical levels, like moving averages or VWAP. If it loses that, then I don't consider this one a pullback anymore. So in this particular case, if we were losing the VWAP, then it would have been a reversal, but it didn't really lose the VWAP. It came down a little bit below and came back up. That was a good sign. And then I saw this candlestick. That was again another good sign. Heavy volume was confirming it. So I would consider this is a pullback. In this case, again, I don't know if you want to lose this moving average or not. I enter the position with the hope that it's a pullback, but as soon as you're actually losing it, then I'm getting out of it here. So as you see here, it lost, and as you see, it actually did go significantly lower. So that's a question, and it did go, below the VWAP. Later during the day, it actually came, significantly sold off, but hold through this 23, 25 level again. Resistances become support, and it did become support, and it did bounce back, but you're done by that time of the day, so you really don't need to trade on that. Another thing that it did help me in the decision making that I had was actually level 2. So when we were going long here on this one, we saw that the asks are stacking up. So that's another indicator that, instead of partialing, you want to actually add more and more, because when the asks are higher and higher and higher, you really want to go long and add to your position.
I trade live in the chat room, sharing my screen. And if you want to see these trades in real time, my thought process, I'm actually giving you 30-day free trial of premium membership that we have. Just ask me how in the comments. Just ask me in the comments and you can come and watch me live trading.
All right, guys. Another really amazing trade that we had on July 25th. So it was a really good trade, and I think it's worth to be part of our recap because first of all, we had a really, really nice profit on that in the chat room and in the community. Second of all, it was a very classic ABCD pattern strategy that we had. So and it doesn't happen, this classic, this nice very often. And now that it is there, it's worth to do a recap. There's also another thing that I have to talk about is actually two strategy at the same time. So a lot of time ABCD pattern and opening range breakout happens at the same time. So these two pattern at the same time, gives you a signal, and then you can trade based on that. This one was actually happened with a 920 reversal strategy. It was just exactly these two strategy aligned together, and that's why it turned out to be a very good, profitable trade for me. Plus, there was very good A plus identification. That's okay. This is a good A plus setup. I'm going to go heavier on that. So going over what happens on a 5-minute chart, obviously, I explained to you guys that this is that kind of ABCD pattern. There's one small one here happening, and then there's another one happening. Both of them can be ABCD pattern. Essentially, you go up, you get a consolidation, and then you get a breakout on that. But before to get into the trade execution, let's talk about what happened on Tesla on a weekly chart. So 2 days ago was the earning of Tesla. And then after the earning, market gap down the next day on the Thursday. So stock sold off to up to 300, but it bounced back around 305. Today, which was a second day play, bounced back, and it was kind of trading around open about green. So looking at this chart means that Tesla is a stock in play. Usually the second day play is a part of our watch list, because usually the big moves, especially on the stocks that is a $1 trillion company, one big drop of 7, 8, 10%, the next day you see some sort of also activity as well. And as you see, confirms the volume. Sometimes when the volume is really low, you really don't want to mess around with the stock because it can get choppy. But this one had the fundamental news in there, and then the next day would be definitely something that you want to consider keeping in your watch list. So what happened at the open? Obviously, in the pre-market wasn't much going on. So the previous day close was here. In the pre-market, there was some really nice pattern and activity. You had a very nice pre-market high. At the opened very strong. Went up to 312, came down below the VWAP, and did a false breakdown below the VWAP. And in that time, the stock obviously was around 1% or 2% plus up. I didn't trade at the open because I wasn't really sure that this is good enough for that. Plus, I wasn't actually trading for the first 20 minutes. But what happened here was that we saw that really started the move from 945 all the way to 1015. And there's one strategy that what we know called 920 trade. And the 920 trade is on a 2-minute chart. When you see a strong stock like here that moves up, buy around the 20 moving average. It could be a good entry with a stop loss below that, and then partial at 9, and then partial at the high of the day. So that could be a strategy that I was considering to trade, and I did actually go trade it for the first time. So again, if I zoom in a little bit more, so this was a really nice uptrend, came down to 20 moving average again on a 2-minute chart. 20 moving average, this is 20, the first one is 9, popped up, it did actually hit the 9, I didn't partial, came down, I got to stop that. And as soon as I got to stop that, it came back up, and I said, you know what, maybe let's give it a little bit of room, maybe do it on an ABCD pattern. So I went back long again here, and as you see, that turned out to be a really good trade because it did pop for the break of 5 today. I started partialing, really nice all the way up to 319. I think I added one more time on it. Actually, yes, I didn't. Yeah, I don't think I did. So, partialed all the way up to 323. The last piece, hold it for a very long time. The last piece I got out at the close, actually. Yeah, so, the last piece I got out before the close. I think I had an order to close the position at the close. And you see, after that, in the post-market, now it's continuing going higher. So that was a really nice ABCD pattern. And again, the entry for the ABCD pattern is always looking at this, If this was the ABCD pattern, could have been a really 5-minute open range breakout, and this was your ABCD pattern, this would have been a very nice 920. Again, you had this beautiful move up, and then you can really get the really good area to add was, at the break, after the break of these high of the days, would have been a very, very nice place to add. I didn't add that because I already had a very aggressive position, and plus I just didn't want to risk more. It was one good trade for me. That was essentially the only trade that I did. No more trading, and it was really strong, and it still is strong, and I'm just holding all the positions that I have. So turned out to be really nice. One thing that you can do is, in this case, I didn't do that, but you can actually do the TSLL, which is a significantly more move on that. So as you see, TSLL from $10 over to $11.80, that's over 8-9% move. So very similar to Tesla. So you can actually put Tesla here, see? Same move exactly. I'm switching from TSLL, just significantly better move. I hope that you like this video. And again, guys, if you comment on this YouTube, I can give you 30 days free for elite program that we have. You can actually take a look at all of this material, and you can watch this live. See how we identify setups and how we execute the setups. Very important to look at them live. Leave the comment, ask your questions. I personally answer the question. I'll give you the 30 days free to our membership community as an elite premium. Thank you for watching.